Hello, and welcome to another edition of One Bad Veggies Root Beer Review, where in this review, we're getting twiggy with it. Happy 2023. So in this review, as promised, we're going to be doing Twigs Root Beer. Now, Twigs as a company, it's kind of like Jones Soda is probably the closest thing I can think of. They don't do just normal. I mean, Jones does have a normal cola flavor, but Twigs is more like root beer is probably their most normal flavor. They do, they do cream soda too, but most of the time it's like lime, peach cobbler. Like I'm looking at raspberry, blue raspberry, caramel apple. Like that's the kind of stuff that they do. And also the Farmer's Brew, which is the main reason why I'm doing this review to begin with, is because I said after I found out that Farmer's Brew was made by Twigs, I wanted to try the original Twigs root beer to see if maybe after having Farmer's Brew, which was a butterscotch root beer, if I could taste the taste what the root beer was that was inside of Twigs or inside of Farmer's Brew. However, in the Farmer's Brew review, I did say that the butterscotch was not overpowering, but it was the main flavor of the root beer. So I guess in the end, it's oh look, there's Titus. Hello, Titus. I guess that's going to be the main flavor, or yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and get into the ingredients. So here's the ingredients list that should be popping up right there. As you can see, carbonated water, sugar, which you'll see on the bottle in a second. They promote that it's 100% real pure sugar. So, and then the rest of your stuff, your caramel coloring, your preservatives, all that stuff. Once again, the secret always lies in the part that says natural and artificial flavors, because they don't tell us what those flavors are, but usually is what makes the mix of what makes each root beer unique, assuming it's unique to begin with. But all right, let's go ahead and take a look at the bottle here, which again, I'm going to go ahead and say Twigs, between that and Farmer's Brew, I don't know what it is about their labeling, but I really like their labeling. There's a certain, it just looks nicer than most of the other labels here. And let's see, we got a little bit of history here. Let's see what it says. It says in 1951, Floyd Hartwig, or Twig as he was known around town, started Twig's Beverage in Shawano, Wisconsin. Wow, now that is a Wisconsin name if I've ever heard one, for sure. So anyway, I'm not going to read that whole thing. I just thought it was kind of interesting. I always like when they put that little bit of history about the company on the sides of the root beers. I should probably read those out more. I know on the old blog, I used to actually, if they had information like that, I would add that as part of the blog, but you know, it's cool. And plus, hey, if you go out and buy it, you can read it yourself. It's, you know, I don't want to give everything away. I want to give it all away. Some of this has to be special for you too. Anyway, let's go ahead and we'll crack this open and go ahead and get a little bit of the scent. All right, let's go ahead and pop this off. It says it's a twist off, but I've tried twice now and I am weak. Hopefully my ongoing never leaving cold doesn't affect us. This is fighting with me. Anyway, hopefully the cold doesn't affect my ability to smell. And there goes Titus. Goodbye, Titus. All right, got it open. Let's go ahead and take a sniff and see how this goes. I like the way that one smells, actually. It's got a good scent. I don't know how else to explain it. Sweet. Honestly, it's a lot of the things, the normal kind of like licorice, anise, those kind of scents, the spices and stuff like that. Not super prevalent on this one. It's mostly just kind of like a sarsaparilla, sweet sarsaparilla, and vanilla. I'll say vanilla too. You know, sometimes it gets a little confusing between what if you're just smelling vanilla or just smelling sugar, but there's definitely a creaminess to it, for sure. But overall, it's a pleasant root beer scent, I would say. Nothing too overpowering. And nothing, yeah. I think it's good. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the pour in the foam. And here we go. We have our trusty mug, who's here to help us imbibe our delicious root beer drink. Let's go ahead and pour it. Nice and foamy. There we go. Got a nice head on there, but does not look very long lasting. So let's go ahead and no, it's gone. You can see that it is absolutely gone. No foam. It looked good while it lasted. Not much more to say. Can't take a drink of it, so I can't test to see if there's any kind of like hidden flavors in the taste or anything. But that's fine. You know, it happens. You know, it happens to the best of us. So that means we just got to get right into the taste test and see how this root beer tastes. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's go ahead and get ourselves a nice taste of the brew, and bottoms up. So this one's a really sweet root beer. The taste. So when I first took a drink of it, I was actually very impressed. I thought it was very good. And I still think it's good. Like, I'm not saying that it's bad or anything, but nothing necessarily sticks out. It's like I said, it's a sweeter root beer, so it doesn't necessarily do anything that I dislike about it. Let's keep talking about the flavors. It's really hard to say a lot about the flavors for this one because it's pretty standard stuff, and maybe just a little bit sweeter. You know, I was hoping for more hints of vanilla, which there is a little bit on the back end, so you know, that's a good thing. But there's not much of a bite to it, not much of like spices and stuff like that. It's there's nothing that stands out of the flavors here. I'm trying to think of other root beers that I've had that I can compare it to. And I can't think of any off the top of my head. But anyway, like I said, I don't really have a lot to say about the flavor. I think I'll have more to say in the grading. So let's go ahead and just grade this one. Now, one of the reasons I'm reviewing Twigs at this point, as I said at the start of the video, and as I said back in the Farmer's Brew video, was because it's Farmer's Brew. I was interested in seeing what the root beer that Farmer's Brew, you would say, is the base of the Farmer's Brew butterscotch root beer. I wanted to know what that tasted like. And now that I've had it, I understand why I think that Farmer's Brew butterscotch root beer tasted the way that it tasted, because when your base is something this sweet, the normal problem I have with butterscotch is the butterscotch flavoring becomes a little bit overpowering. I think maybe that's because maybe there's not usually enough sweetness in the mix. And in this case, the Twigs root beer as a base, adding butterscotch to that made the Farmer's Brew, in my opinion, a better experience than most other butterscotch root beers that I've had. That said, Twigs root beer, it's a pretty standard root beer. It's when like I said, when I first took the first drink, I was like, oh, this is going to be a high grade. And then it's just kind of like, after it sat there for a little bit and I kind of absorbed more of the flavors, I was like, nothing's really sticking out, right? And as I always say, B's and A's are for exemplary work in the field of root beer. And nothing was particularly fantastic about this root beer, but it is very good. I am going to give it a C, because, like I said, it sits kind of right in the middle there of it's good. It's good root beer. It's a good root beer. If I had pluses and minuses, I'd give it a C plus, like it, or a B minus even, maybe. It's definitely on the higher end of the middle if you were making a tier list, it would be right, there. But in this case, I do have to give it a C because it's just not astounding. It's just very good. So yeah, C. So Z Control, the guy that I have working on my new artwork or my new logos and such, he's finishing up work on my Gundam stuff, and once that's done, I'm gonna start trying to stream more Gunpla again, so I can add that artwork and everything to the new stuff that I'm trying to do. I've been making a lot of new, just kind of changing the way that the stream looks, kind of going with a like 80s VHS aesthetic, and not like you're probably thinking like the purples and pinks and that kind of stuff. It's not like that. It's more like old rental store kind of vibe that I'm trying to go for. Anyway, so yeah, once that's all done and everything, I'll start doing that more. I wanted to get some more Christmas streams done. Sadly, I did not get any Christmas streams done, so that'll have to wait till next year before I can unveil that, that stuff is pretty cool too. I've kind of unveiled a little bit of it on my Instagram. So and so speaking of, if you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel, and then follow me on other things. Check out my Twitch, of course. Follow me on Twitch, my Instagram, my Discord, even though there's really not a lot of people in it, but that's fine. If you want to become one of those people, feel free to do so. Otherwise, that's really it. I thought I had something else to say. Oh, that's right. I was going to start kind of like ending these by telling you which root beer I was going to do next. So the next review will be for Sioux City root beer. It's going to be a re-review. And if anyone pays attention, which I don't think anyone pays this close attention to these videos, I usually go back and forth between a new root beer and a root beer I've reviewed in the past. Eventually, it'll get to a point where I'm all out of root beers that I reviewed in the past, and it'll just be new root beers every single time, which I'm actually kind of excited for that day because, new stuff. And I get excited about new stuff, like Twigs. So anyway, that's it for this one, and I hope you had a good time.